Okay, so the people making Garden Warfare 2 posted an absolute ton of information on the 16th of October, and I'm going to break it down for you because it's pretty damn exciting. Okay, so the first thing is there are 6 new classes of character. That's 3 plants and 3 zombies, which if you've seen the preview videos and from E3 and everything, you know what they are and who they are and what they do, but I'll get into exactly who they are later. But that means that instead of 8 characters, we now have 14 because the 8 from the original Garden Warfare game are coming over into Garden Warfare 2 plus the 6 new characters, which makes 14 in total. And if you add up their variants as well, that means there's over 100 playable characters as opposed to in Garden Warfare where there were just under 100. Secondly, every character from Garden Warfare will return. The only exception of the character variants that won't return are the Berry Shooter, the Citrus Cactus, Chester Chomper, and Dr. Chester, because they were all promotional characters licensed from different companies or whatever who won't be making it into Garden Warfare 2. That isn't to say that there won't be some sort of promotional characters in Garden Warfare 2, but they are unannounced, so we'll just have to see if that happens. But at that stage, you can confirm that there are 4 variants not coming across, but that's not a big deal considering we're getting 6 new characters plus all their variants, which is a lot better. One of the biggest changes seems to be how progression works. So in Garden Warfare 1, when you played as the scientist and then you wanted to level up, you could play as the chemist, of course, like I do, or the archaeologist, and they would all contribute to the overall scientist goal to progress that character and then progress the variants of the character. According to the wording from the Garden Warfare 2 team themselves, it would appear that the progression for each of these characters and their variants are unique to each of the characters and their variants, meaning that the chemist will have their own chemist progression and chemist related challenges, as opposed to the archaeologist who will have his own archaeology based challenges with the Dino Blaster and so on. I'm not quite sure if that's exactly what they mean. I would like them to clarify that a little more because that is a lot of work to put in to level up each character variant as opposed to the character and their variants as one whole unit. So we'll see, but that is definitely the biggest change for me so far. I really would like more information on that, and I'm sure we'll get it as we get closer to the release of the game. So, who are the 3 new characters on the plant side? We have Kernel Corn, Rose, and Citron. Now, Kernel Corn, his primary weapon is Cob Busters, which is a fully automatic cone cob blaster that explodes into popcorn. And you have 2 of them, which is pretty sweet, and that sounds really, really fun. And his abilities are Butter Barrage, where you throw down a steaming hot potato and stand back and watch as corn bombers fly overhead and drop hot butter bombs on the battlefield. I think that is so funny and just perfect for this game. Husk Hop, which lets the power of corn propel you onward and upward as you rain kernels down on those below. So Husk Hop to me sounds very similar to the Foot Soldier's Rocket Jump or Rocket Leap ability, in which you can either have a really elevated jump or a further distance leap, but not you won't be able to jump as high. But with the added bonus of damage from raining down kernels. I assume they damage, maybe they don't, we'll have to see. And then his last ability is Shuck Shot, which is S-H-U-C-K-S-H-O-T, just in case you didn't hear me, that's what I was saying, which lets you charge up and unleash fury with 2 explosive rocket-propelled corn cobs. That sounds fantastic, and I cannot wait to play as Kernel Corn. So, moving on to Rose. So Rose is the sort of futuristic, time-traveling Rose, who has magical type abilities, a little different to Kernel Corn, who seems to be full-on attacking and assault. Rose is sort of the mystical one. Her primary weapon is Magic Thistles, which are magic thorns that automatically seek out targets, attach to them, and explode. That is pretty good. So these are like little homing missiles that will just get onto anyone. Don't know if you'll be able to aim it perfectly. I'd love to see how this works. Is it going to get the enemy that you're looking at, or an enemy that's maybe behind a corner, or is it just going to go for the closest enemy, even though you may want to get an enemy that's a little further back? We'll have to see, but still, it sounds like an absolute boss attack. Now, Rose's abilities. First one, Time Snare. It conjures a giant magic sphere that distorts time and temporarily binds those caught in its blast. Now, if you've watched any of the videos that EA have released of Garden Warfare 2, you'll have seen this attack. Of course, I can't show you them here, but you can easily look them up on the Plants vs Zombies YouTube channel. So I'm not quite sure where the time distortion comes in. I guess you'd have to be a zombie and see it from that perspective, and I don't believe we have seen it exactly from that perspective yet. If we have seen it from a zombie's perspective, it hasn't been completely explained exactly how the time distortion works, but the temporarily being bound is very straightforward, so that sounds very good and could be a fantastic move for gardens and graveyards, which is reversed in Garden Warfare 2, where you might be able to bind some of the enemy zombies from getting into the garden, so as a plant you can take the graveyard and turn it into a garden with your enemies bound on the outskirts of the graveyard. Could be very useful. Second ability, Arcane Enigma. Transform yourself into a being of pure energy, move faster than normal, become invincible, and deal damage to anyone foolish enough to get in your way. So this sounds exactly like the pea shooter's hyper ability, except better. And I'm not quite sure how they're going to deal damage with people getting in your way, but it seems like a fantastic way to just charge through a whole bunch of zombies in gardens and graveyards and deal some damage along the way. This might be a fantastic way to butt zombies out of the garden and stop the countdown for them turning it into a graveyard and damage them in the process. Very, very handy. And then Go to Fire. Now, they haven't actually given a description for this, but if you've seen the videos, you can turn enemy zombies into goats. I'm not entirely sure how it works or what happens if you're a goat. Like, do you get to control yourself as a goat? Is it temporary, or do you have to be vanquished in order for you to come back as a goat? Can you as a zombie or your teammates do anything to turn you from a goat back into a zombie? Not sure. Again, they'll probably give more details about this before the game releases, or maybe they won't. Maybe they want to leave this Go to Fly thing. They're being very mysterious about it. And that would be very cool to find out, like, on launch day, like, what exactly that means. So, Rose living up to her magical and mysterious self there. Not entirely sure what Go to Fly is, but that is going to be awesome to find out. And finally, for the plants, Citron. So Citron is like a giant orange that sort of looks like a tank. I'm guessing he's like a defensive plant, and he sounds pretty cool. He looks pretty cool, so let's see what his primary weapon is. And Citron's primary weapon is called the Orange Laser. So this orange beam fires a bioorganic stream of orange plasma, and it has been described as both delicious and nutritious, but I'm guessing quite deadly to enemy zombies. But maybe what they're saying here is that you might be able to fire it at your own player, like the sunflower beam. Maybe you can heal them, or maybe not. Maybe it's like an attack weapon for zombies, but like a defensive weapon for your own teammates. Maybe it's a healing thing. It doesn't say that. We'll have to see. So even though they describe it as delicious and nutritious, I'm pretty sure they mean deadly, because even though that kind of makes you think it could be a healing beam for your own teammates, there's no discussion of that at all. It seems to be an attack, not a defensive move, and it's not an ability like the Sunflower's heal beam is. So yeah, we'll have to see exactly how that works, and if it is in fact delicious and nutritious closer to the launch date. Now, Citron's abilities. EM Peach. Absolutely fantastic name for that ability, straight off the bat. Specifically designed to take down the Imp and his Z-Mech, this little guy will stun any zombie in range, but is extra effective versus Z-Mech. So, pretty sure, without having spoken about Z-Mechs yet in this video, and not knowing that much apart from what I've seen in videos, I have a feeling the Imp and the Z-Mech is going to be an incredibly popular combination, especially in Team Vanquish. I feel like the Z-Mech will be a little bit OP for that, but maybe you won't be able to call in the Z-Mech. I'm not entirely sure how it works just yet, but it's good to know that there is a specific plant with a specific ability that will render them useless. EM Peach, I think, will be incredibly useful for Garden Ops, and I'm guessing that you will definitely need to have at least one Citron when playing Garden Ops and Garden Echo 2, because I'm imagining a level where there are Z-Mechs as far as the eye can see, and I'm scared, but also happy that Citron has EM Peach and you can take him down. Okay, his second ability is Citron mode. So he changes from battle mode to Citron mode at any time. While in Citron mode, charge up a super fast and super powerful spin dash attack. So Citron mode sounds like a defensive mode here, and I believe in the video it's where he turns into a ball. It's obviously like an orange and kind of rolls around. So that is very, very cool, and I'm wondering if you'll have high defense that way, if it'll change your stats in any particular way, or if it'll make you more of a target because maybe you're not able to use some of your attacks. It sounds like you may not be able to use the orange beam, and instead you have the spin dash attack. So yeah, we'll have to see about that, but that sounds very interesting and gives Citron a really interesting angle to play in Gardens and Graveyards. So definitely looking forward to hearing more about that. And then he has an energy shield, which is you deploy a one-way energy shield that absorbs all incoming damage but still allows you to shoot through. So that sounds absolutely fantastic. And Citron with an energy shield ready for opponents coming in for Gardens and Graveyards, absolutely fantastic. That's going to be great. Hopefully they do have a standard Gardens and Graveyards mode, not just this reverse mode that they've spoken about, because I would love to play a Citron in that mode with the energy shield up. Sounds absolutely fantastic. So Citron is sort of a combination of attacking and defending, with a little bit of magic thrown in terms of the EMP, Citron mode, and energy shield. But I think I'm still looking forward to playing as Kernel Corn the most, I have to say, because he just sounds so funny. But Citron, I think, sounds incredibly powerful for Gardens and Graveyards. Rose, I need more information on. It's still a little mysterious as to how her primary attack works, and how Go to Fly works, and what Go to Fly actually means. So I have to stay tuned on that. Looking forward to more information, but so far they sound fantastic. Okay guys, head on over to part 2 of this video to hear me discussing the new zombies, and remember to give this video a thumbs up and comment below with which plant you are most looking forward to playing as in Garden Warfare 2.